know what I said last week, that I was only going to do one character, but this time we're going to talk about two. So we're talking about Zias. She has probably the most complicated past ever, because from what I understand, the chief elector found her in a village that was destroyed, and then took her in and helped train her, and she became a fire magician. Cool, right? Except that it goes for another twist, because I know I have the Serpent Shadow again, probably my favorite book out of the whole series, but in the Red Pyramid and partly Throne of Fire, you see Zias, except that's not really Zias, it's a Shabbat, or Shabbat, and it's just a clay mold, and she's asleep somewhere else because of, I was never really too clear on the reason, but she had to be put away, and we find out later that she's actually going to host Raw, and that's really cool. I didn't exactly see that coming, because when they awoke in Raw, it was like, yes, and then he started acting like a 5-year-old, and you're like, oh, okay. The sun god, everyone, yeah. But then we see we see her interact with him. He loves her, he's growing on her, and then this thing happens, and she is hosting Raw, which has got to be really, really awkward, because she is hosting a dude. Yeah, she's hosting a guy. So that in some ways that's got to be a little awkward, but that's still really cool. And I do like Zias. She's a really strong character, and I love that even though as a Shabbat, we still got her personality through it. Okay, because she immediately just goes in there and throws water on Sadie, and it's just like, wake up! You know what kind of character she is when she does that thing. And she's also really smart, because she figures out that they're hosting the two gods. You know, Carter and Sadie are hosting two gods pretty quickly when they start fighting, because brothers and sisters are going to fight. And she figures it out, and then she helps them. Okay, because they're kind of just like, huh? We're hosting a, huh? They're really confused, and I love that. I love the ending, how Carter describes her as being more brighter, and how every guy was really, you're with him, that. I see that as some sort of character development, because at the beginning she was more stone cold hard, which is kind of funny because she was made of clay. It wasn't real. She wasn't really there, and then when Carter found out, she had to fall in love with him all over again. Carter was so depressed, because he's like, no, because he was like, I thought I got to know you. It's not true, and that just threw another loop. Rick Riordan and his love issues, especially in this book. You have Sadie Walt Anubis going on, and how he solved that, and then you have Carter and Zias, and that's probably, I've never seen that done in a book before. For sure, maybe Daughter of Smoke and Bone, but she remembered everything right away. Zias, not so much. She was dreaming the whole time, so it's he kind of had to fall in love with her again and explain things to her, so I don't know, but anyway, when we saw her fight, though, now let's talk fighting. Even before she was hosting Raw, it was still so cool, so awesome, and everyone in this book, when they fight with magic, especially her, because she is a fire magician. She can create the balls of fire and throw them, and she knows what she has to do and when she has to do it, and when it happens, she does it. She doesn't hesitate. She knows, she makes the plan, okay? She's very powerful, and that's what I like. She's very strong and powerful, even before she was hosting Raw. Then she hosted Raw, fighting that giant. Oh, that was amazing. That could not have just all been Raw. If it was, I don't care, that was still amazing. That whole fight scene was amazing, with the different layers of the daunt and them running through it. That was just really cool. And then you had her fighting the head, and everyone else was fighting different parts of the snake. It was so, I loved it, okay? I loved it. It was awesome. really, that's Zaya for you. Not much. She still has like probably the most complicated past of this whole book. Okay, we don't know that much about her past, but still, it's that complicated. It's still a complicated past. So that's Zaya for you. So now let's talk about Bast. I feel like I also need to talk about Bast because she is a big character in the series. She's a pretty big character in the series, and I love her. I love that, like, I love her, like, chemistry with Anubis. It's really funny because it is cats and dogs, literally. And I like that she acts like a cat too. It's kind of funny. She's the cat goddess, and she partly acts like a cat. I love that. She's so protective. I love, love, love. I just so love that she invented nap class. Can other schools get that class? Because I'm liking that class. I'm liking the sound of it. And how she just helps out with everything. I like that. As we know from Kane Chronicles, Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, gods tend to not exactly help out that much. But she does. She is helpful. She helps them out a lot. She even has like a fun past, how she had to like fight Apophis. I think that's the snake's name. But how she fought him for centuries, and now because she left her post, like, he's out, he's back. I like things where it's like it's kind of one of the heroes' faults, and now they're like, I am going to stop this, and she does. She goes out there and she's like, let's fight this giant snake. We all got this, okay? And she fights that snake. I was so sad when she had to leave, though. At the end, so sad when she left at the end because of that whole all the gods must go back deal. That was so sad. Why'd she have to go? Why'd she have to go? And I like Bast as a whole. Okay, I like her as a whole. Like I love that she helps out. How she is awesome with fighting. I cannot tell you how awesome she is with fighting, with just pulling out knives like they're just lined up all the way up her arm, probably. That is awesome. It's like she has like a conveyor belt on her arm with knives coming through because she always has a knife ready to pull out. And like I said, she is part cat, so she's like all protective, and she believes the world revolves around her. It's so funny, and I just like it. I like that I like that in this series, the Egyptian gods are more interactive and more of a character. So that's Bast for you. And now let's go to our word. Go into the back of the book. So, the word today is actually going to be the opposite of Zaya, and that is water. You want to make some water happen? Throw some water at some people? Here's the word. Maw. M-A-W. Maw. Sounds like, it looks like what a cat would say. But it means water. If you're wondering what it is, there's the hieroglyphic right at the bottom there. Yep. 3 squiggly lines. The Egyptians were so creative on that one. But be sure, don't get that one mixed up with N, because N is a squiggly line. Just one squiggly line. That's N in hieroglyphics for you, so fun. You got 2, a letter and a hieroglyphic. That's water for you, and that is actually going to be the final word that you will receive in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, because this is the last video for the Kane Chronicles. I know, those went by really fast. And now for the Rick Riordan tweet of the day. This one. Oh, this should make all of you pretty happy, because somebody tweeted him, don't you want to write books that don't include mythology? Writing books without mythology? He responded, you mean like those 9 others I already wrote? So he wrote 9 other books. If you're bored and you want a Rick Riordan book, we got Big Red Tequila, Windower's 2-Step, I guess, Last King of Texas, The Devil Went Down to Austin, the first 39 Clue books, I have that one, Cold Springs, South Town, Mission Road, and Rebel Island. All those sound like mystery books. I think half of them are, besides even 39 Clues. I've heard him talk about 2 of them, and I know one of them is a scuba diving book. So, that sounds fun. Some of them look like they involve death, so there you go. If you are a Nico fan, read one of those. But hey, we got a year to wait. We could probably read all 9 books by him. Why not, right? If you want to see them, there's the covers. And again, if you want to see more of Rip Riordan's tweets, just look in the description below. You'll see that. I don't know how many of you know that I put that down there, but it is the link to his Twitter site. And like I said, this is the last video for the Kane Chronicles. Who knows, maybe I'll talk about more. Maybe I should review the mini-stories, such as The Son of Sobek and The Staff of Severus, however you say that. But I'm making an announcement this week. Yay, announcements! So, next week, you will have 2 videos. Yes, the first video will be for the Blood of Olympus. I know a lot of you are probably waiting for me to talk about this, and I think that it has been a month. Everyone has either gotten this, read it, borrowed it from a friend, got it from the library, or in the process of reading it by now. Okay, so now we talk about it without giving any spoilers, but if you haven't read it, you're going to be spoiled next week. But also, I want to make another announcement. So, as I go around on the web, and I realize that the end of the year is coming, I know people tend to do this thing where it's like they name the top 10 books of 20 whatever year it is. And I thought about that. I do character reviews. I should probably do something like that. But I can't because I do character reviews. And based on character reviews, you should probably guess who my favorite characters are. So why would I do my favorite characters of 2014, especially if some of them would probably repeat. So what am I doing this time? I'm doing, yes, character awards. So next week I'll be putting up a video to tell you all the categories. There will be 11 categories for the books that I have reviewed. Note that there are 11 categories, and only books that I have reviewed will be featured in these 11 categories. Only characters I have reviewed, okay? So, only characters I've reviewed except for category 11, but you'll find out what category 11 is next week. And I have put 3 nominees. I'll repeat all of this next week when I tell you what the categories are and who the nominees are, but that's what's going to go on. And you guys, yes, you right there, you watching this video, are going to vote for your characters for each category. Again, I will explain everything next week more in depth. I'll tell you the categories in the next video, and then we start with the Blood of Olympus, and then on New Year's Eve I will be posting the results for 2014. So be sure to catch the next week's video, vote, and then we will also be starting our Blood of Olympus character reviews next week. So yay! And thanks for watching. Bye!